For centuries, we humans have been absolutely obsessed with one big thing: the ultimate quest for longevity, health, and, well, maybe even immortality. Across pretty much every culture, people have searched high and low for some kind of magical elixir of life. But what if the ultimate medicine isn't something you go out and find, but something you build completely from within? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're demystifying the ancient, super fascinating world of vital cultivation. And we're going to break down the three distinct grades of practice that people have used for generations to try and master their own life force. To really wrap our heads around this, we need to borrow a brilliant framework from ancient Chinese wisdom. You know, the classic text, the Compendium of Materia Medica, or Bin Chaogong Mu. It's this legendary historical guide that categorized literally all medicines into three simple grades. The upper grade medicines are super beneficial, with basically no harm. The middle grade? They can be helpful, sure, but they definitely come with some risks. And the lower grade? Well, they might have a highly specific use, but they usually bring some serious harm along for the ride. Now, the author of today's source material, Dr. I-Hung Chen, isn't a traditional medical doctor, but he's a deeply seasoned practitioner of meditation and Qigong, and he perfectly maps this exact three-tier classification onto the life-nourishing practices people still pursue today. Okay, let's just dive right into the breakdown for today. We'll be moving through 1. Lower grade, material alchemy, 2. Middle grade, external energy, and finally 3. Upper grade, internal alchemy. Section 1. Lower grade, material alchemy, seeking the elixir outside. So what exactly is material alchemy? Picture this. In ancient times, practitioners would try to forge actual physical pills using natural minerals, heavy metals, and, yes, sometimes even hallucinogenic substances. It was all deeply tied up with their religious beliefs. Their ultimate goal was to just swallow these manufactured pills to extend their lives. And honestly, this was a global phenomenon. It's remarkably similar to Western medieval alchemy. But here is the massive red flag. As a wellness plan, eating heavy metals is an absolutely terrible idea. This method is fundamentally a dead end. Historically, it relied 100% on external substances. If you couldn't find the exact super rare mineral, you were out of luck. Even worse, these concoctions were incredibly toxic. Countless emperors and seekers literally poisoned themselves to death consuming heavy metals while looking for eternal life. Crazy, right? So, as our source firmly points out, this is a dead end best left strictly to historical interest. When you read ancient medical texts mentioning these magical recipes, they are virtually impossible to verify today. The ingredients are either gone or the preparation methods are just way too dangerous to even attempt. The major takeaway here, these physical external elixirs should absolutely never be taken seriously as a real modern practice. It is the lowest grade for a very good reason. Moving right along to section 2, middle grade, external energy. The trap of absorbing qi. Now, this mid-tier method sounds incredibly cool at first glance. If you're a fan of martial arts novels, it sounds exactly like the star-sucking great art. This wild idea that you can literally absorb the energy of the outside world to nourish yourself. People who practice this try to pull in all sorts of external energy. They might do specific routines to take in the essence of the sun, or go stand by waterfalls to absorb phytoncides. They'll hunt down places with strong magnetic fields to practice in. I've even read about methods where practitioners try to siphon the energy straight out of large ancient trees, or, believe it or not, try to absorb vital energy from other human beings. This whole approach is rooted in a philosophy called Qi monism. Basically, it's the view that the fundamental energy of absolutely everything in the universe is Qi. So, theoretically, energy is everywhere, just ripe for the taking. But let's look at the actual exhausting reality of trying to live like this. If you really try to practice this, you become incredibly neurotic. You start constantly worrying like, wait, is the Qi of this specific banyan tree bad for me? Is the magnetic field in my office draining my life force? Our source points out that creating all these environmental taboos makes practitioners intensely paranoid, which ultimately just ruins their psychological well-being. And beyond the mental exhaustion, there's a pretty huge ethical flaw here. Any practice that tries to achieve self-improvement by sacrificing or siphoning from external things, whether it's a centuries-old tree or another person, is highly questionable. Plus, it reveals a fundamental weakness in the practitioner. If you constantly have to rely on absorbing energy from a waterfall or a forest, you're kind of proving that you're empty and weak on your own, right? You haven't actually learned to rely on yourself. In that sense, depending on external invisible energy really isn't much better than relying on physical heavy metals. But hey, there is a silver lining here, which is why this gets to be the middle grade rather than a lower one. For the more advanced practitioners of this method, the secret isn't actually the tree or the sun at all. It's encapsulated perfectly in this phrase: borrowing the fake to cultivate the true. The redeeming quality of this tier is the intense mental concentration it demands. Whether that external energy physically exists or not isn't really the point. It's your ability to visualize that beautiful energy that actually trains your mind and focus. The external object is essentially just a set of training wheels for your own internal power. All right, now we're talking. Section 3, Upper Grade, Internal Alchemy, the body as the furnace. This is it, the absolute ultimate method. You completely stop looking outward. Instead, you treat your very own physical body as the alchemical furnace. Through highly specific, focused practices, you warm and nourish your vital energy entirely inside yourself. You form the elixir internally, and you consume it internally to cure your own illnesses and strengthen your own life force. You become a 100% self-sustaining ecosystem. And listen, this isn't just nice-sounding theory. This is an area where our author has over 30 years of deep, hands-on experience. Now, what's really fascinating is how this connects to broader spiritual practices. When you look closely at internal alchemy, or Neidan, it shares a striking parallel with deep Buddhist meditation. While they might be aiming for different ultimate spiritual endpoints, different conceptual refuges, the core path is fundamentally the exact same. It's like taking two different highways that arrive at the same destination of ultimate internal mastery. Both require you to stop seeking external validation, stop seeking external energy, and turn your gaze entirely inward. But I gotta warn you, this is a massive challenge. The true core of this upper grade practice isn't just about learning a cool breathing technique. It's a complete top-to-bottom shift in your mindset. Are you actually willing to undergo a self-revolution and endure true loneliness? You have to face the stark realities of life and view your existence from an absolute high point. Because if you aren't willing to completely revolutionize how you see yourself and the world, you'll remain an amateur forever, and the practice is never truly going to bear fruit. It demands total internal dedication. If you can weather that storm, though, the fruits of internal alchemy are literally life-changing. Synthesizing over 3 decades of practice, the results are crystal clear. It has the power to cure multiple types of diseases from the inside out. It creates an incredibly high-quality, vibrant life. It brings immense emotional stability to the mind, and it sharply enhances your critical thinking abilities. You aren't just living longer, you're living with amazing clarity, power, and independence. Section 4. The Mind Behind the Explainer. About the author. All these incredible insights come to us directly from Dr. I-Hung Chen. Dr. Chen holds a PhD from the Department of Chinese Literature at National Chengchi University in Taiwan. His academic research spans Chinese philosophy, Taoism, and Buddhism, but what makes this perspective so unique is that he isn't just an academic theorist. He brings over 30 years of hands-on Qigong practice to the table, alongside more than 20 years of intense meditation experience. He's even received direct lineages from the Nyingma school of Tibetan Buddhism. He has literally dedicated his life to the modern understanding and practical application of these ancient internal arts, perfectly bridging the gap between rigorous academic study and profound personal realization. So that leaves us with a pretty massive question. After seeing the deadly pitfalls of relying on external substances and the exhausting, neurotic trap of trying to absorb outside energy, what will you choose? Are you going to continue seeking quick external fixes for your health and your energy? Or are you finally ready to do the profound work of building your own internal furnace? True vitality, it turns out, has always been an inside job. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the 3 tiers of cultivation. If you enjoyed this explainer and got something out of it, please like and share.